Okay, good morning. Today we are going to be making textured ornaments. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start by wedging my clay. And all I'm doing is pushing the heel of my hand down into the clay. I'm going to flip it over, I'm going to roll it again, I'm going to flip it and roll it and flip it and roll it a few times. Now my clay is pretty dry. I got one of the older pieces. So I'm just going to put some water on there. And I'm going to keep flipping and rolling until I can actually move this piece of clay around. It's not very malleable right now. That means it's not very easy to manipulate because it's old and it's hard and it's kind of yucky. Yours should be better. You're going to be using new clay. I'm using the older stuff to demonstrate. So now I'm just going to work it a little bit and add some more water. And I'm going to keep adding water and working this clay until it's the consistency that I want it to be. I think I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to roll this piece of clay out and keep wedging it. That's better. Now I'm starting to get a better consistency here. Your hands are going to get dirty and you're going to get dirty. So if you don't want to get dirty, make sure you use one of the old shirts so you don't mess up your clothes. Although clay does come out pretty well, so it shouldn't be a big issue. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll this out. I'm going to flatten it. How much should I flatten it? Well, that's a good question. I want the thickness of my clay to be about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to get these two dowels. I'm going to use them as a guide. I want them to be about the same thickness as the dowels. So I'm going to flip it, going to roll it again, and I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to roll it again until I get the thickness that I want. And next, I'm going to get one of the texture makers. Let's see, which one do I want? I have a whole bunch. I have a whole bunch of different textures. So I could put hearts in it. I could put stars and snowflakes into it. I could put something that looks like tire tracks or a brick pattern into it. I could stamp it if I wanted to. I have all kind of different choices here. Ooh, I like this one. I think I'm going to try this one. I'm just going to go over it to create a texture. Now I don't want to go too heavy because I've got my clay the thickness that I want it, but I do want to add a texture to it. So I'm just going to go over it, and I'm just going to go in one direction. You could go both if you wanted to, depending on what kind of a texture you're looking for. So this is kind of a rough texture. Next, I'm going to get my ornament and press my ornament down into it and peel up the stuff around it. So today your job is to practice wedging and to create a textured ornament. Now I'm going to gently pop it out of there just by going around the edges. I don't want to get it all skewed and out of whack, so I'm being really gentle about it. There we go. Okay, so I have a Christmas bell here. Now I'm going to take a little bit of water. I'm just going to smooth around the edges because these edges tend to get a little bit rough. I'm going to knock off any little parts and pieces that I don't want. Smooth around the bottom. And you'll have cups of water on your table, or if you don't, you can go get a cup of water just to smooth it out. And one more thing that you need, since it's an ornament, how are you going to hang it from your tree? Well, we should probably poke a hole in it. So I'm going to go get one of your art boxes. And I think I'll take this box. And I am going to get out one of my handy dandy little hole pokers. And I'm going to be very careful about where my fingers are. I don't want them directly behind. But I'm just going to move it around, poke a hole in there. And I can even use the other side to scoop it out a little bit if I need more space in there. And it's going to make these little bits of mess all the way around. So go in, clean up those little bits of mess so you don't have rough edges on your ornaments. And then it's kind of poked around the back. So you're going to have to do the same thing back here. But just like before, you can smooth it out with a little bit of water. And you can even go from the back and make sure that hole is clear for when you're ready to hang your ribbon or your string or whatever you're choosing to put back there. Now, you've pretty much got your ornament done. But at this point, you're going to do a little bit of engraving. I'm going to write my name, or at least my initials. I can write my whole name, or at least my last name. Ellsworth. And my class period. Let's say I'm going to be in first hour since I stole their box. So I'm just going to put a big 1 on there. And at this point, you are basically done with your ornament, and you can put it on the shelf and start cleaning up your area. Or you can play with the clay a little bit more until it's time to go. Have fun.